Hi Greedy 3Ders. When Formlabs sent me the Form 4 3D printer, I agreed to make 3 videos for them. The third one was giving me a little bit of a headache. I didn't know what quite to do, and then the planets kind of aligned themselves and I had a eureka moment. When you realise that First Steps, the Fantastic Four movie, is about to be released, where Hell Creator make a Susan Storm model and where Formlabs themselves send me some of their V5 Clear Resin. So today we're going to be making Susan Storm, all in their clear resin. Stay tuned. So the model we're going to be using today is from Hell Creator. Now I absolutely recommend you go and check out their stuff. They do some awesome sculpts, and Susan Storm is no exception. She looks absolutely fantastic as the Invisible Woman, and that's the model we're going to be doing today in her invisible form. I'm going to be printing everything on the Formlabs Form 4. Now I recently did a review for this printer and I highly do recommend again you go and check this out. It's not the cheapest printer in the world, it's definitely not aimed at us hobbyists, but go and check it out. Now when you use a new resin with your Formlabs machine, you are supposed to use a new resin tank with each different kind of resin, a new mixer, and as I said, we're going to be using their V5 today. So I've got the new tank, the new mixer, and their resin. And the reason you need a new tank is when you use a resin, for example on this occasion their clear resin in this tank, the tank actually becomes programmed to that particular kind of resin, which means that the tank will only work in the printer with the V5 resin in. Now there is a way of resetting the tank, but you've got to think that this is a business perspective, and if you own a business and you have lots of different kinds of resins, then you wouldn't want to be mixing those resins, and using a different tank for each different resin means that you can just swap the tanks over and reduce any time. Now don't forget as well, these tanks are designed to be throw away, you can't change the FEP on them, and it is, as I say, one tank per resin. It's an expensive approach, but it's a business approach, not really aimed at us consumer hobbyists. You also need a mixer, and the mixer, we suggest a new mixer with each tank as well. That's because each time the mixer is used, it actually records how often it's used, and you'll know when it's going to be worn out. Each resin comes with a little sticker, and the reason it does that is because you then stick the sticker on the tank, and you then know that this tank is designed and is programmed to use their clear resin on this occasion. And of course you'll have different tanks for different resins, which means that when you want to swap those tanks over, you literally just see which one you need, you swap the tank, you swap the resin, and you're away doing your next job. You don't want to be using a clear tank with the wrong kind of resin or vice versa. That is their theory, that's their ethos, that's their approach. I'm not going to say whether it's good, bad or indifferent. You make your own mind on that one. I have my opinions, of course. Now, the cost of this resin is not cheap. It's sitting at just under £95 per kilogram of resin, which is very expensive for a clear resin, but again, you buy the ethos, you buy into Formlabs, their own resins. You don't have to look at any settings, any samples or anything like that. You put it in and it prints, it knows all of the settings for you. The resin tank is just under 100 quid and the mixer is 25 quid, so an expensive way to put a brand new resin in. And as you can see in my printer at the moment, I've got some tough resin in this tank, and it's really easy to get the tank out. There's just a couple of clips. You can do this one-handed. You can undo the mixer that's already in there, and then that tank can be removed. You can pop the lid on. That's a universal lid, and it'll protect the resin inside with its UV protection. And of course these tanks are designed to be stacked on top of each other, so you can put them to one side, and when you want to come back to the tough resin, you can just pick it up, take the lid off, swap it all over, and away you go. You can see there it's been labelled with the tough, so you can't mix them up. The machine will tell you if you do mix them up, it won't let you use a clear tank with a resin that is not anything other than clear. Putting in the new tank is a simple case of locking it in position, put the new mixer hand in, one little click, and that also is locked in, and you are ready to go. You need to remove the resin that was in there before, which is obviously their tough resin, and pop that to one side, and then you are ready to go with the clear. Now make sure you drop the little lid down there to stop the air getting in, and you've sealed that up. I always recommend you just clean the bottom of the resin bottle as well. This is where it auto feeds in, just to make sure you get any excess resin just off before you pop it to one side. And as I said, these tanks are designed to be stacked, and you can see there that you can't go wrong once you've labelled them. You just literally, when you want a different kind of resin, you swap the tank, you swap the bottle, and you are away to go. What I tend to do with a brand new bottle of resin, I'll just pour a couple of 100 mils in. It just means, although it's got a delivery system, and the delivery system works really well. You didn't see me spill that everywhere. You did not see that. The delivery system does work well, but it's a little bit slow to start with. So if you just top it up with a couple of 100 mils, then you are ready to go a lot quicker. Open the air valve at the top there, pop the bottle into the top. The machine will automatically notice what resin you've got in there, and it tells you how much is in. You can see I've got 800 mils of the Clear V5. It will also, because it's an idiot-proof kind of a machine, tell you that the vat is in and that the build plate is also locked. Now the other thing I'm going to do is just clean the build plate, and the reason I'm doing that is I've gone from a grey to a clear, so I just want that to be absolutely pristine, and I've done that with their cleaning station. Now I'm going to be using their Preform software to put Suzanne Storm in, and it's pretty similar to the other kind of slicing software that you've seen. And to get your file in, you literally just drag it in and drop it in, and then from there you can do all the usual bits and pieces that you want to do. You can rotate your model. If you want to hollow it, you can, and add holes. We're not going to do that with the clear resin because it's so clear. If you do hollow this out, you will see all the support settings inside, and on the right there on the print validation switches, I've just turned them all off because they do add some weird and wonderful colours in there, and I don't really want to see all those weird and wonderful colours. I just want to see the model. I'm just going to rotate it to what I believe is the best position. I don't want to get any supports on her bottom bit, on her butt cheeks, so I've moved it around to try to reduce that as much as I can, and I'm going to then add some of the other files in. Now occasionally you'll see that it detects a broken model. I see this quite a lot with a lot of the models that I put in, and I just suggest you press repair. It will do its magic in the background. I don't really understand what it's doing, as some models I've printed on different machines don't give me that and they print fine, but hey, this is quite an advanced bit of kit, so I don't know what it's repairing, but it is repairing something in the background. And there we've got the majority of them in there. I just wanted to see how much room I've got to play with, so I'm going to bring in the base as well, so that then I can scale everything up and make sure everything fits onto the build plate. And to scale everything up, on the left hand side, of course, you have got the size option there, and you can just tell it to go up in sections, and I'm just going to put it up to, I think it was about 1.7, 1.6, something along those lines. And then once I'm happy that the size is pretty much going to fill the build plate, once the supports are on, I'm going to just move everything around. I'm going to rotate it into the position that I want to. Now this does do an auto position and an auto support. I don't let it position my models. I don't do that with things like this because I don't really trust any of these auto settings. I want to move them into my own position. I'm also going to reduce the auto generated supports down to a 50 and down to a 0.35 touch point size. Now we will come back to that because I find that their support settings at standard can be a little bit robust to get off. Now when it puts the supports on, you might see a little bit of a layer of red around some of the models. That just means that they're going to overlap a little bit, so you can at this stage then just move them around just a little bit to make sure that they fit onto their own little place on the build plate, that nothing overlaps, and as you can see, everything is going to work absolutely fine there. Just have a quick close-up look. Yep, all looking good. I'm happy with my layout. I'm happy with my orientation. You may not be, and if you want to change anything, now of course is the time to do that, to put it exactly how you want it to go. The next thing we're going to need to do is tell it which printer we are using, and to do that I'm going to go to that top right corner there and click that grey box, as you can see, and that will take me to the printer selection screen. Now, I've only got one printer. Mine is called Genius Marlin. I did not name that. It automatically knows that the Clear 5 is in there, so I'm going to click on that and tell it to apply. Now watch what happens next. It will tell me that the supports that I'm using, because I've changed to a different kind of resin, may not be optimal. What I always do at this stage, I don't ignore it, I'll just tell it to import the latest support settings, and if you click that button there, it will import the settings, change the supports automatically, and you will not have to do anything. And you know then that the supports that are in there, the supports that are holding in your models should be absolutely sufficient to do the job. You can see also it's changed the colour of the resin to a more clear. You might need to move and jiggle things around a little bit again, which I have done, and there we go. We are ready for the printing process. Everything is ready to go, and to print it, all you need to do, bottom right hand corner, is select print now. It will automatically slice, automatically send to the printer, and the printer will begin printing automatically. The whole thing is designed to be a quick, simple, easy process with minimal intervention required from a human being. And you can see there on the actual software that it will tell you how long you've got left, etc. If we just go out to the machine, you can see that what it's going to do is start to heat the resin. Now remember, this thing does not fill the resin vat up. All it does is put in a few mils and then it stirs it and it warms it, which means it's quicker to start and it's quicker to heat the resin. So the whole process is expedited, and that little mixing arm is cleaning not only the bottom of the vat but also making sure the build plate is clean. It's mixing the resin as it warms and as it's been added in, and as you can see, the printing process is well underway now with that resin getting its UV wonderfulness, and then the little sweeper arm going across in between each layer just to make sure that it's successful, because if this fails at this point, the sweeper arm should pick it up, it will stop the print and you'll save you wasting any of that really expensive wonderful resin. We've come to the end of the print now. It's been a fair few hours later, and at the end of the print the machine will automatically do its bits and bobs, do its last thing, and then it will raise out of the resin as you would expect. And you can just leave it there if you want to drain. That's absolutely fine, and the machine will always ask you at this point, after it's taken a photograph of the end product, has it been successful? And you need to tell the machine one way or the other, has it been successful or not, and it will log that for you. Now we can happily say, look at the clarity of that. Yes, that has been absolutely successful. That's absolutely beautiful and clear and looks just like glass. The build platform is my favourite thing of the whole printer. Getting build your models off it's just a case of flexing it and giving it a little poke at times, especially for the little ones, but a flex is all you need, and it just takes the edges off and away it goes. Wonderful. I'll clean that, I'll put it back in, and we're ready to go. Now the cleaning station as well is an absolutely fantastic bit of kit. Not cheap, but it's awesome. It is my favourite cleaning solution, and this is why I love it. When your print has finished, it rises like the phoenix from the proverbial IPA with your model. You can leave it there to drain, or you can pop it straight across in the basket if you want to. What I'm going to do is just give it a blast with some clean IPA. The reason I'm just doing that is my IPA was not the cleanest. Should really be ideal. It should be clean IPA, of course, but mine's a bit grabby, so I'm just giving it a squirt with a clean IPA just to make sure I get any of that surface dirt off it. I'm then going to heat things up with a hairdryer and just take the supports off. The supports are coming off wonderfully. The settings that it told me to do have absolutely worked. Everything is printed perfectly. I can't see any failures. I can't see any errors or problems. A little bit of heat and they are coming off just beautifully, especially look at this big one here. You can see why I didn't hollow them out and put supports inside. You would have seen absolutely everything, and that's my advice when you're doing clear resin, is to not use supports. Don't hollow it out. I'm going to put it into their curing station. The good thing as well with their curing station is whichever resin you're using, you can tell the curing station which one you are using, and it will automatically change it to the actual settings that you need, and it's got a heater in there as well. So let's have a look at that final finished result. Just look at that. She is glass-like, she is translucent, there's no hint of any yellowing in there. It's just completely transparent, beautiful. The details there, each individual section of the print, each little minute part is clearly visible. You can see absolutely why I didn't hollow it. You would have seen every support line on the inside of her because she is so glass-like. Now I haven't varnished this, I haven't polished it. You are seeing this straight off the curing station, a little bit of glue just to hold her together, and oh my god, she looks amazing. Now what I'm not doing in this video is comparing like for like. I'm not showing you this resin against that resin. All I'm doing is showing you what their Clear V5 resin can do in their Form 4 3D printer, and it can do it quickly, simply, easily and absolutely perfectly. It's a beautiful beautiful result. It's an expensive option, but sometimes you can't argue getting what you pay for there. The quality is just gorgeous, and I can't stop looking at it. It's wonderful and lovely. What will happen to this resin over the next 6 to 12 months, I don't know. I can't say. I am assuming, based on everything else I've seen, they say it won't yellow. I have no doubt and no argument with any confidence that that's not going to happen to it. It's not going to yellow. It's going to stay clear and pristine, and I am so pleased with how Susan has popped out of the Form 4 using their Clear V5 resin. Wonderful 3D print going on the shelf ASAP. Well, like I've said right from my review video of the Form 4 printer, it is a wonderful printer. The cost, unfortunately, will put it out of reach of the majority of the hobbyists. It's just not bang for buck when you've got so many options on the table at a much cheaper option. But that doesn't stop us enjoying what the thing can actually do and what sort of quality prints it can achieve, and some of the technology behind it that I'm sure you will agree is a wonderful thing. And let's just hope that other companies can do similar innovations moving forward in 3D printing. But Formlabs have produced a wonderful machine there. Hell Creator have done a great job on Sue Storm, and I definitely recommend you go and check out their other models. I've done quite a few of theirs, and I'll try to put a link in the description down below about some of the other videos that I've done for them. But make sure you check out my library, because I've done a fair few from them. Now, if you like what you see on Greedy 3D, firstly, let me know. Send me what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Think about joining the Greedy 3D Patreon. It can be free, or it can cost you a couple of quid a month if you want to go on a paid tier. And for doing that, I will give you a couple of free STL files, which would be a Captain Britain file and also a Judge Dredd file that was donated by Corvinus Creations. Thank you, guys. If you have enjoyed today's content, please just leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much to my patrons. You guys are amazing, and I'll see you next time on Greedy 3D.